Hello everyone, and welcome to Capitol Watch for Friday, February 24th, our weekly look at legislative issues and how they might have an impact on our public schools throughout the state of Missouri. And joining us from our governmental relations offices in Jefferson City is MSBA's Associate Executive Director for Advocacy and our Chief Lobbyist, Mike Reed. And Mike, things are getting serious in Jefferson City these days, aren't they?
It really was. This was a really interesting week and a very hard-hitting week, and it is a week that shows that people are very, very serious about certain things and changes in public education in Missouri.
The big issue this week, Mike, was House Bill 1740, which has turned into a major omnibus bill, meaning it has provisions on all kinds of issues, and a bill that we're very concerned about. Tell us about that.
We're very concerned about 1740. It is an omnibus education bill. It has some pieces in it that are very good and that will help education. There's the expansion of charter schools with accountability that is necessary if we're going to expand charter schools. There is a part in that bill that deals with the foundation formula. It's Mike Thompson's bill that has a proration factor that's extremely important to discuss and be discussed and have voted on one way or another. It has the language from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education dealing with unaccredited districts, taking away the 2-year waiting period before DESE can operate, but also in that bill has a part where DESE has to work with the local school district to see what is best for that district. But that bill also has several pieces in it. It has virtual charter schools with expansion with no accountability. But probably the thing that is the thing that bothers us the most is called passport scholarships. They are a tuition tax credit voucher program. It diverts money from the state of Missouri, in essence, and gives money to kids to go to private schools. This is for children in unaccredited districts. The proponents say that this is not a voucher program. We believe it is a voucher program. The proponents say that this money never goes to the, doesn't ever come to state tax money. Tax credits are just that. They're a credit. Department of Economic Development is the group who oversees this sort of program, and Economic Development takes the amount of tax credits each year right off the top of state money. So the $40 million will be removed immediately from any anticipation of any state money. So in essence, the state money is reduced by $40 million. This is a voucher program. If it was designed just to help kids in failing districts, that'd be one thing, but what we really find is that the majority of kids who take these voucher programs do not go to public schools now. They already go to private schools. So this is a diversion of public money to go to private schools. That is something that this association has always been against, and we encourage and urge our members to call their state representatives and tell them to please vote against this piece of legislation. There are parts in it that we like. We have been criticized on numerous times that we don't support public education, and we're always saying no. That's not true. Let me say again, that's not true. We support good pieces to help students. And there are a number of pieces in this bill that are very, very good, and we want to have a vote on that. We just believe that the voucher is a killer for this piece of legislation.
And Mike, even though the voucher program affects kids only in unaccredited school districts, it still would have an impact on school districts statewide, as you mentioned, because of the loss of revenue. Isn't that right?
That's exactly right. Because of the loss of revenue statewide, it affects everyone because it diminishes the amount of money that will be available for money to go into statewide education.
Mm-hmm. So Mike, that bill apparently is going to come up on the House floor as soon as next week, and we are urging our members to contact their state representatives and urge a no vote on that, aren't we?
That is exactly what we're doing. We believe this is on a fast track. Leadership in the House has stated they want this bill to be enacted on before the end before the House goes to spring break in 2 weeks. So it will be coming up in the next week or so, and we urge our people to please call their representatives and tell them to vote no. There will be more information coming to you in Legislative Voice, and so please read that.
And so, Mike, what should our messages be to our state representatives regarding the no vote on this bill? What arguments should we make?
I think we make the argument that this is not good for public education. This is removing the amount of money that can go to public education. This is a voucher system. This is the start of a voucher system. This isn't really what it's designed for. It's not designed to help kids. It's designed to give money to go to private schools. I think we have several talking points that we'll be sending to people.
Another issue, Mike, actually you mentioned it as part of this omnibus bill, but it was also considered this week as a separate measure by the Senate Education Committee, a bill dealing with how the State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education can intervene in unaccredited school districts. Tell us about that bill.
That's correct. This is a bill that was passed in the House, or passed out of the House committee and is now out of the Senate committee. And it allows the State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education to not wait the 2 years when a district becomes unaccredited. They can go in immediately and have various options, whether that is that we have a special board or that the elected school board still operates. There are various options given to the state school board, and it just gives a quicker time for them to work. It also mandates that the state school board work with the people in the community to see what is best to work with the problems of that community.
Mike, earlier this week we held our annual legislative forum in Jefferson City, and more than 240 school board members and superintendents from around the state were there, and we focused a lot during our legislative forum on how school boards and superintendents can be effective advocates in the legislative arena in relating to their state legislators. We also had a couple of speakers from the legislature. State Representative Joe All of Marshall was one of those speakers. He's on the House Elementary and Secondary Education Committee, and also State Senator David Pierce, the chairman of the Senate Education Committee, spoke to the group during our luncheon. During Representative All's remarks, he discussed the foundation formula fix issue, and let's take a look now at what he had to say about that.
But when we put that formula in, there was supposed to be enough money so some districts gained, but nobody lost money. The way it is with no new money, we're going on through the phase-in, so we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. If we don't do something this year, there will be a huge shift of money from formula to hold harmless districts. And I'm not trying to take sides. I've got both districts in my legislative area. You know, across the state, we've got some very good hold harmless districts. We've got some very good formula districts. But if we don't do something this year, we don't pass some type of formula bill, there's going to be a huge shift of money from formula districts to hold harmless.
So, Mike, you mentioned that issue as part of this omnibus bill. Representative All and Senator Pierce both indicated in their remarks they would like to see this issue considered as a standalone issue. What are the prospects for that?
Yes, we would too. We believe that it is such an important issue, it needs to be debated by itself. Right now, the House has taken a position that all of these issues will be put in one piece of legislation and it will be voted on with one vote. So it doesn't look real good in the House right now. In the Senate, there's still some debate on getting the bill out of committee. It's a little cloudy right now. But we believe that all of these issues that affect public education are so important, they need a separate vote and a separate discussion of each one of them. And so that's one of the reasons, another reason that we believe that 1740 is not a good piece of legislation, because it lumps everything together and it's a take it or leave it. Either you take all of this to get something that you like and you have to take something that you don't like, or it's up or down. And we don't think that's the best way to look at these questions, these big questions. The question of the formula is extremely important to every school district, as Joe said, and so it's extremely difficult to work through with when it's all thrown together as one piece of legislation.
All right, Mike, as we look at the week ahead, I guess the major issue will be the House floor debate on House Bill 1740. Is that right?
That is correct, and I wish our members would please talk among themselves, talk to your fellow board members, talk to people in your community, and most especially talk to your representatives. We will keep you informed by sending out notices and emails about what is happening, and I appreciate all of the hard work that our members do in letting representatives know how their actions in Jefferson City affect the students at home. And that's what we're talking about. how do their actions affect my students in my district?
All right, Mike Reed, as always, thank you very much for being with us on this edition of Capitol Watch. Again, pay close attention to the Legislative Voice newsletter that you receive every week from us on legislative issues, as well as our daily blog on the website for frequent updates on legislative activity. And we hope you will be able to join us again next week for another edition of MSBA's Capitol Watch.